What's going on, everyone? We're starting off strong here by collecting 5 power-ups on a map. I'm sorry I've been away for a while. Things have been kind of hectic. This isn't exactly how I wanted this video to come out, but I've had a lot of audio issues, so I'm doing this all off the cuff. And I'm glad I gave myself a minute here. This is just kind of the story of Twisted Metal 2. This is what's going on. I have a couple videos that are lining up. I should be back to my normal schedule this Monday with Time Splitters 2's Platinum Guide, and it'll be an official guide the exact way I want it to be. And then following week will be Sly Cooper and the Devious Raccoonus. Look forward to those. I'm looking forward to those. Those are both great games. But anyway, back to Twisted Metal 2 here. I've been trying to get this out for weeks, and like I said, life just been kind of kicking me around, so I'm just thankful I finally figured out how to get this recording and get this out to all of you all, and I am just grateful that all of you all you were all still here. Jeez, check out what I could do. This was for getting the first destruction with your special. Twister is the one, as you can see, I'm playing here in the gameplay. When I do switch to normal later on, yes, I'm playing on easy, his special becomes a whole hell of a lot worse. They call me The Rock. This is just for ramming somebody to oblivion. We got here, I think this is pot shot. Yep, so we were just gonna do the same thing with the machine guns that we did with the last two. Boom, there it is. It is a lot weaker, the machine gun, than in the first game, just a heads up, so definitely whittle their health first before anything. Careful with that. This is a twofer, so this is the last enemy. As you can see, I got the last kill here with the bomb, and that's what for the careful with that, it's the remote bomb. And then because I also got that, and that was the last of the enemies there, I also got the completion wait until Hollywood sees this, or I should say trophy. I can't say the name of this next one for obvious reasons. This one had me panicking. You can see here, lives nil. My health was, if I had to guess, because you can't actually, as you can see, you can't actually tell what percentage it's on. It's very low. And then there, when I slammed to the gate, it didn't help nothing. Outlaw 2 there is chilling. He's just like, yeah, man, I'm ready. You know, let me catch the smoke. Let me catch this W off of you. I'm not gonna let that happen. Look at that. I stopped for a second. I was like, no way, I'm seeing that. And I was like, all right, yo, you're done. You're done, skis. Good night. Where's the perfect thing to use? All right, we're gonna just use it. And kablooey, right? Again, Twister coming in clutch for there. We're coming up close to where he's no longer going to be clutch. This next map coming up here, Putty, there's several trophies to get here. No, speaking of, before we get that, that's just for completing mission 2 there, Russian bolt gauge. I wanted to capture everything leading up to that because that was really intense. So the Monumental Disaster, there's a couple of trophies that you have to be on this map to get. I'll show you here. Water Slick. It's for just driving on the water. I didn't know if just driving counted or not, so I hit my boost.
Got the trophy,
But it did look like the trophy began to pop before I even touched the water, so you might not be you might not need to use the boost there. Hope these don't make me sick. This is just for using the teleporter. As you can see, I just got my anus handed to me on a silver plateau by Mr.
Cool.
Slam.
I just got an
There I am. I hope that doesn't make me sick. I teleported, which is cool. I'm flopping all around here. Enjoy the fine art. You see that building right up ahead? That's to get into this museum. The second you drive through that trophy there, enjoy the fine arts will pop for you. There's some goodies in there too, so try to pick those up while you're in there. I think this is just me trying to show you how I got to it. Either that or it's just me clapping Thumper into oblivion here. We're going to find out in just a second. As you can see, like I said, this has been, like, the video itself has been done for about, like, a month. It's the audio I keep having a problem with. And see, that's another thing right there. I don't like Twister Special because of that reason. I don't know if more or less it was him or if it was Thumper's Ooh, excuse me. Flamethrower that got me here, but yeah, then boom, he's gone. Goodbye, Thumper. And yes, I did use a little cheeky rewind in the comments. So this next one, I believe that's coming up is similar to Water Slick in Amazonia Firewalk. This is the only place you can get this trophy, this upcoming trophy. And by the way, this is the last mission you are allowed to play on easy. And what a great metal tower. That's right, I forgot that was for completing the Pouty mission there. Alright, we're just kind of waiting here. Amazonia Firewalk. This should be, yep, Firewalker. It's the same thing, just kind of splash down into the lava. Boom. Heads up though, the longer you stay in the lava, the longer, or I should say the more health you lose. So try and just kind of do like a little, like get your foot in there and get it out. You know what I mean? Like don't sit around like I did reading the trophy. Because honestly, it was just a complete accident. I was just flailing around because, as you can see here, Twister, and if you've played Twisted Metal 2, Twister is very hard to control. Like, as you can see here, it's going from 40s to over the 120s in seconds. He is very difficult to control here. So this is just for completing the Amazonia Firewalk. Here, as you can see, again, Outlaw 2, my menace, my rival, if you will. I was not having another repeat of the second mission. As you can see here, I was really happy because, yeah, I was really mad at Outlaw anyhow. I had a vengeance for him. And speaking of vengeance, no, it's not Batman, but it is Minion. And just like in the first game, he is very tough. So similar in the first game, if you've watched my Platinum for that video, and yes, this is where you are no longer allowed to play past easy. You'll know some of the strats to take down Minion, staying away from him and chipping away his health and whatnot. This is where I switched to Warthog because I could no longer tolerate Twister. I kept blowing up too much, taking myself out rather than taking out the enemies. This is me beating Sweet Tooth. Just getting the level completion here. Give it a second. Okay, another second. A third second. There we go. No road, no problem. Come on.
Yes, no road, no problem.
I really should have shortened some of these. I didn't quite realize how long I left some of these.
Correctly.
You know,
don't worry, I got
when
you.
You're recording, it kind of feels like a while. When you have like dead air, you know what I mean? Probably.
I live on the bottom floor. I'm sorry.
Oh, I got this.
But,
I got this.
Here we go. Yeah, and we're in Antarctica. I believe
sorry, you guys.
So the cool thing about this mission, there were parts of the actual map that, as you can see here, it just comes to an abrupt drop. Because it's the like actual icebergs and whatnot fall into the ocean with all the blowing upness and whatnot.
Mode throughout the first
Feel the
game,
squeams
but the
coming up
second
next.
game
5 below
stopped
freezing. This just for
at,
completing the
level
Antarctica
4.
map. I enjoyed that. I thought it was a
easy.
pretty
Yeah,
cool
so
dynamic.
everything below everything after has to be normal. I just got 5 below.
Alright, that's much better. Okay. Now it's better. Here again, just going after Axel. I thought that would be a great idea, but it was not. I did not really have much of anything prepared to go up against Axel. That's why I kind of just C4'd him like that, and then
you could do it.
Oh wait, maybe it did. Why didn't? Maybe I
my
just
car.
didn't
I'm sorry,
realize it.
boys.
Who cares? I got the W. That's all that matters.
Alright.
It's just for completing that mission.
The
So we're actually, this Hong Kong is the last of the actual missions here. And the thing is, I like to put in these put in those codes there at the password stage, so it gives you full lives, puts you right where you want to be. This is for defeating Dark Tooth for the first time. And this is going to be an also twofer because I beat him with Warthog.
Yes.
Started still a little bit dry. I just skipped it. I was so tired, I think, at that point. I just wanted to go to bed. So here, I knew I just kind of wanted to get Twister out of the way with, so I did exactly that, and blew myself up. But nah, I mean, you see what I mean? That's why I didn't really like Twister, because he tends to take more damage to himself by doing the special than anything. I also did forget to quickly mention that Dark Tooth is a 2-phase boss fight. So I think this is going to be, yep, here it goes. This is the second phase. So you get the actual Dark Tooth truck, and then you have just the head that flies all over the place. And I just barely won that, so you can see that Twister is not my favorite. Really, I'm glad I got this one out of the way with when I did. Mr. Slam was a little more fun. Axel was, I think, the last one I did. Yeah, because here's Thumper. This was pretty cool. I actually did. Yeah, I actually had a pretty easy time. Now that I'm rewatching this clip and I'm kind of trying to think back a little bit. Yeah, he wasn't too bad. Thumper. I actually really slept on Thumper throughout Twisted Metal 2. I'm not gonna lie. Let's see who gets the W here first. I think I did, right? Yeah, look at that. That's a pretty far flamethrower. Pretty far-reaching flamethrower. Jeez. You tell him I'm doing this all off the cuff. No refinement, nothing. So yeah, the second half of the Dark Tooth fight, he got the jump on me. He got me down to 1 spare in the original life, so 2 lives left. But he's pretty much almost done. I didn't really care to rewind at that point. It's the cool thing about playing some of these old PlayStation games and PlayStation 2 games on PlayStation 5. They allow you to rewind parts, which is actually really awesome. Psychonauts, though, does not. I just started playing that here recently, and it does not have that kind of feature, which is okay. You know what I mean? It's a pretty forgiving game for the most part. Spectre. Right? I totally blanked out there. My bad. I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? This kind of reminds me a little bit of Gotham. Not gonna lie, the Hong Kong level. I don't know why it always just kind of did. If you like Batman, let me know. If you like DC or Marvel better, also just drop it in the comments. See what kind of comic fans we got here. I started getting into Batman really honestly when it came down to the Darkest Nights, or Dark Knight Metals. Whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. I can't English right now. That was just one of my favorite. The Red Death is honestly one of my favorites that came out of that. Like, everyone, loves the Batman Who Laughs. Don't get me wrong, rightfully so. But for me, Red Death was always my favorite. I didn't catch up on Batwoman before Red Death appeared in The Flash, so I was a bit confused. And then I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? This is supposed to be the dark multiverse and whatnot. Like, are they gonna bring in the Batman Who Laughs? And they never did. We're still just kind of cutting through all the fun stuff, basically. But yeah, honestly, speaking of superheroes, Spider-Man is my favorite. I always love Spider-Man. In fact, my favorite version of Spider-Man is Spider-Man Noir, and I'm really excited to see Nicolas Cage, his rendition of Noir. Really looking forward to that. So anyway, really, I should be giving you more tips and tricks. Again, this is all off the cuff. This really hasn't been much of a platinum guide, so to speak. More just me coming back to YouTube and rambling a bit. But basically, a lot of these follows the same type of formula as I was saying a lot earlier in the video. Whittle their health down, and then go in for the kill. You know what I mean? It's the best way to go about it. Here, as you can see, I barely got through Darktooth the first round there with Mr. Slam. But let me tell you, I had more fun than I did playing Twister. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing for every single one of them. You know, I'd suggest getting the homing missiles, the fire missiles, the power missiles, those everything. Right? And honestly, the ricochets, the ricochet bombs, don't sleep on those. Those are a lot more powerful than you think. The specials also really helpful from at least a good majority of them. With Mr. Slam, you don't really want to get too close to Darktooth, so you don't really want to use his ability. Same thing with Hammerhead, but like as you can see here, like Mr. Grimm, Spectre, Outlaw 2. Well, Outlaw 2 to an extent, you do kind of have to get close, but you can pull it off if you're smart and slick about it. I just was not. So I kind of stayed a little further away from him. Grasshopper, I still really don't see the advantage of the special. This one was really completely useless in my opinion. So everything I just said, ignore when it comes to Grasshopper, because his is basically just, or hers, I can't remember, is just jumping around. If only they wished for wings. This is what, Hammerheads? Yeah. Hammerheads is pretty tanky. Or Hammerhead in general is pretty tanky. I loved Hammerhead in Twisted Metal 1. I slept down on him in Twisted Metal 2. And here we go. This is for Axel, getting the Platinum Trophy alongside, defeating Darktooth with Axel. But yeah, whittle the health down, and then go in for the kill. But anyway, this has been Hunty Platinum. I am very excited to be back. Thank you all for sticking around. Thank you all for staying subscribed. I will see you on the next one.